Look, it's Jerry coming to you today from Guanacaste, Costa Rica, the Rythmia Life Advancement Center. What is Rythmia? Rythmia is a life advancement center unlike any other in the world. It uses plant medicine, ayahuasca, and metaphysical teachings, the Dead Sea Cleanse, yoga, meditation, breath work, amazing food, in a beautiful nature setting. And what comes about is an actual miracle in someone's life. And that miracle largely is a soul reclamation or a soul merger. How many people have experienced rythmia and what has been the outcome? So 15,500 people through the doors. And 97.85% of them stated they had this life-changing miracle during their stay. The better part of that is 6 months later, they get a survey. And in that 6-month survey, 92.28% say that miracle is still working in their life and that this was the week that changed their life. Amazing stuff. Because of that, we get all kinds of people. We get athletes and TV stars and movie stars and business leaders and musicians and and normal people like you and me come here to have this amazing thing happen. And it really is amazing. Last week, my friend Kelly Slater was here. On our board of directors, we have Caesar Milan, the dog whisperer, Michael Bernard Beckwith, Martin Luther King's son, Martin, Tony Coe from NYX Cosmetics, Kelly Slater, and I'm missing Jack Canfield, all on my board of directors, right? All these people from all these different walks of life come here to experience this week that leaves them wanting to become a beneficial presence on the planet. We're going to talk about that. Today's broadcast is Don'ts 10, What Not to Do. And today we're going to talk about procrastination, not so much the procrastination that you think about, but a different type of procrastination that I get to see quite frequently here at Rythmia. So let's talk about the normal process. What usually happens is people come from all over. They come here. They go through this week. They have this merger, this soul merger. And then after that soul merger, they make a promise to God to become a beneficial presence on the planet, which means leaving the things that we touch in better shape after we've touched them than before. That's what that means, to level up our environment, to become a beneficial presence. Then once we commit to that and we commit to certain lifestyle changes and additions to make that happen, that's usually a 10-year journey and usually marks the start of our life. We go from being a liability to an asset. We go from seeing what we could get to seeing what we can give. And in that process, it starts a very, very joyous experience. Now, the thing that I want to talk about today is procrastination and what happens prior to making a decision to do something with our lives. And really what happens is stagnation. So this lack of making a decision that can come out of confusion or not a heart-centered place, or fear, lack, and limitation can keep us from in this point of confusion. But what happens there starts out as one thing, but always leads to quiet desperation. The lack of decision always leads to quiet desperation. Because once we decide to participate, once we decide to become a beneficial presence, our spirit doesn't know the difference between actually having it and committing to doing it. So all of the good feeling from being on this course to becoming a beneficial presence on the planet is experienced up front. So one of the things, like in psychocybernetics and manifestation mind tricks that we learn, is that feeling as if we have the thing already makes us experience the thing and vibrate so that it can become, so that it comes into our life. And I talk about that in this book a lot, about what that specifically is about. And the book's called Truthonomics. And you know, to just divert for 1 second into a little bit about me. I didn't graduate high school, and I wasn't a smart kid, and I managed to do some great things in business. I created $100 million in value 2 different times. I'm going to count this 3 times. And I've been super, super lucky, right? Because I've always used a particular type of manifestation whereby I thank the universe for things that don't look like I already have them. But in thanking for them, I feel like I do have them, and that sets the stage for their occurrence, right? Now, in deciding to become a beneficial presence on the planet, we're actually, when we make that decision, all of the things that means comes forward to us. So if you see people and they go, hey, I was kind of on the sidelines my whole life, I was in indecision, I wasn't both feet in. The moment that I got both feet in, everything started happening to me. So last week when I talked about both feet in, that's what I'm talking about. So the point previous to the decision is usually marked by quiet desperation. I'm stuck in this job, I'm stuck in this thing, I'm stuck in this rut, I'm unmerged, and therefore I'm stuck where I'm at. Or the other variation of that is that I'm working my ass off to pay for these mortgages, to have this car, to impress my neighbors. That is not a very centered place to be. And then that has a desperate feeling tone to it, right? So once, the great thing about rythmia, it stirs the decision to become a beneficial presence. I had to talk about another thing. My friend Merrill, who's a great a medicine man, and has a very unique perspective on plant medicine. But one of the things he taught me was that, you know, in our series of lives, somewhere around our 800th life, and this is out there, we make a decision, a real decision, to become aligned with the light. And that's in like in a period of lifetimes. And once we do that in that life, that's our lifetime that marks this great decision and change. I believe if you're watching this, this is your lifetime. You're hearing this because it's time for you to evolve and change. So what is becoming a beneficial presence? A big part of that is joining the light, right? That's what being a beneficial presence is. So he and I, although using much different words and phrases, are talking about the exact same thing, right? So this decision you make from a merged place that you're going to do this thing, and this thing can be anything. I know a spiritual investment banker. I do. I know, of course, spiritual doctors, musicians, cooks, chefs, tattoo artists. I know a myriad of, and it doesn't matter. It matters that the thing that you're doing brings light, goodness, and benefits people. That's it. That's all you're saying you're going to do. That's joining the light, right? Now, all good things that are going to happen start to happen once you yourself are convinced that you're on the thing. So a lot of us have had false starts before. We started a diet and we stopped. We started a workout routine and we stopped. We started a community focus group and we stopped. We started going to church and we stopped. So some of us are used to letting ourselves down. But once yourself sees that you are not letting yourself down, that you are on this thing to become a beneficial presence, then all of the vibrational forces of the universe convene to assist you in that process. Fact. Now, you yourself, in your prayer, meditation, and thanksgiving for this thing that's occurring, don't know the difference between in process and having it. And then the strange trick of the universe gets played sometime between when you started and when you acquire the beneficial presence hat, whatever that is. You realize that the fun of this thing is in working towards it, not getting it. And then every day becomes a celebration. Every day becomes a ceremony. This is the process, right? What keeps us out of that process? The fear or inability to make the decision to become the thing. That's what keeps us there. And I will always tell you, that is a very torment-filled space. It is. Because there's a part of us that no matter who we are, knows that we should be doing something for the benefit of others. And knows that all of the fun is in doing that. All of the juice, I hate using that word, it's an overused word, but all of the juice is in doing it. All of the joy, all the contentment, all the fulfillment is in doing it. And we've been sitting on the sidelines. That's a painful place to be. What does rythmia do? It shakes us out of that position. It does. And I want to tell you, the craziest thing is once you shake out of that position, it's revealed to you that there was never a choice. There was not a choice. That there is no other position. There's just waiting. So that's the craziest thing. It reveals to us that there was never even a choice. They were just waiting. Crazy stuff, right? But that is the thing that I want to bring to your awareness today. And in order to do that, you can't do it in quarters. You can't be a quarter in, then a half in, then 3/4 in. It doesn't work that way. It's a full effort or no effort at all. And you can't make a full effort if you're not both feet in. You can't. So these old-fashioned things that parents and grandparents and now great-grandparents used to say about commitment and duty and purpose, these things are really, really, really real. And they become evident as you start to make that journey. Because all of that's going to be tested. Your ability to stick to your duty, your commitment, your purpose, all of that's going to be tested. And that is the hero's journey. And that's where the fun is. So that's my talk to you today. I hope that landed in a beautiful way. And I can't wait to see you here. And if you've been here and you feel like you're, so people say to me, Jerry, how often should we come to Rythmia? I'm a firm believer that this should be a once a year stop, to brush up and to renew your commitment. I really am. So please come and visit us. And until next week, we'll see you then. Cheers.